Hey everyone, so the video I chose was the YouTube video. It was The Working Poor, the Price of the American Dream. Here's some of the things that I took away and wanted to share with you. So a lot of these employers, they do offer health insurance, but it kind of like comes with a catch. So you have to be a full-time employee in order to get those benefits. So a lot of these big companies and franchises are only offering part-time employment, and this is so that they can save themselves the money and not have to pay someone working full time those benefits. Or they rather just hire people working part time, which is kind of sneaky and shady. Um, and then you have part of this video, someone was saying like America's profiting and on the right track to becoming the American dream, but like at what price? Like we do have more jobs and employment is decreasing, but there are people still below the poverty line, or like people that are working poor and not working in great conditions, or just don't have the best stability for it. Um, so with like unemployment decreasing, there are a lot of jobs that are becoming available, but they just don't pay a sufficient amount for people to make a living. So then people are they're forced to work 2 to 3 jobs, working like outrageous hours a week, like 50, 60 hours a week, which is crazy. And so to be out of poverty, you need at the minimum $15 an hour. So I don't see like why are we even offering jobs that are less than that amount, knowing that they can't make a living off of anything less than that? It doesn't make sense to me. Um, and like in your smaller towns and cities, there isn't much employment offered. So that's why you have these people who are traveling to the big cities so that they can work and get financially stable. Well, then they get there and they can't afford it. They're not making enough money. They can't afford, they can't afford rent. They can't afford to save up to pay these deposits for a place to stay. So then it's just a cycle that happens. They don't, no place to stay. They can't find somewhere to work. They don't have enough money for food, shelter, just like your daily needs like that. So like these people all come from the same lower class families. They're either like right below it or basically riding the line of poverty. They experience the lower end of life, even though they're literally working their lives away. Um, they're still struggling with income, housing, being underpaid, not getting like your health benefits, while there are like much wealthier people who don't have to work as hard, but they seem to get all those benefits in life. And people in the lower working class or the working poor, they try to go through social mobility to make their lives better, but unfortunately it's just like a roller coaster, and they're dealing with like the upward and downward mobility. And I think like one of the major, there's two of them that I can think of, the institutions to encourage to make like the social changes would be like we can start with the government. Like I talked about raising the minimum wage, because you're not gonna make a living making anything less than 15. So why don't we at least make the minimum wage 15? It sounds crazy, but how are we supposed to live? How are we supposed to grow with $10 an hour? It just doesn't make sense. And then another institution could be healthcare, like how these employers are getting away with not giving it, or people just not having it at all. I think mental health is a big thing, and it should be accessible for a lot of people, like everyone. You think about better health, it could mean taking better care of yourself, which you're so that way you're able to provide for your family, you're able to work, even if it means like working these hard jobs. It's at least you're able to do it with better health. Kind of what surprised me most, there was two things are that I just wanted to share. They said the middle class is becoming the new working poor, which is crazy to hear, because the middle class, it doesn't seem that bad, but you think about the working poor, and it sounds pretty bad. So it's crazy that that's becoming the new norm. Um, and then you have these people, they're like staying in hotels long term. Multi-generational families are in like one small room, or like what I thought was crazy is like the whole living in tents. I mean, there was little babies running around living in those tent areas, and it was just normal for them to be like cramped up in such a small area, and the city tolerating those like campsites. But I guess that's just what people have to do to make it work. So that was something I found pretty interesting about it.